Hey guys, what's up? G4TV is cool here. Here I have a deck profile for you guys, and it's because of honor of BT14, Brilliant Strike. I have plenty of deck profiles actually now, but one of them that's not going to be done for a while is the Minerva deck because everybody's just hoarding these little girls, these hot girls like mad. So I still need to get 3 more Minervas. I have everything else for the deck pretty much there, but the Minervas, and don't worry, once I get 3 Minervas, the deck's pretty much going to change. Can't wait to get 3 of her. I have a Jewel Knight deck profile for you guys. It's missing 1 card, but it's plenty playable actually. And an Ezel deck profile. Yep, go Ezel. But for now, this is about Ezel. This is about the Liberators and their return to fame. Yep, Liberators got some great support in BT14, along with a new cross ride actually for the main character. Go figure. But it's actually to me one of my favorite cross rides because it's really consistent actually for what it can do. It would still have a hard time against Link Jokers, but you gotta play it right, put pressure on your opponent, Vanguard to Vanguard, and just, you know, wreck face. But overall this deck is really fun, really consistent. I enjoy it because it just fits my playstyle a little bit. Now, to be quite honest, I never really cared much for Genslot Zenith. I thought it was just a mediocre card that I really wouldn't like playing because it's very risky, but the whole it gains 10k is very persuasive to me. But anyway, let's get started with the deck profile, and hopefully I don't mess up. Here we have the starter that I run. I mean, many people will probably run Spring Breeze, many people will probably run the Grade 3 Searcher, but I run this guy, Holy Squire N9, because the deck does counterblast quite a bit. So this card helps out with the balancing of it doesn't counterblast a lot, and it just, you know, whenever it boosts a Vanguard with LB, you put it into the soul and draw a card. It really works with the deck because you can easily get this effect off and then draw that card that you need. So you really get maybe 3 cards from a drive check rather than just 2. So it works. Next I run 3 Genslot Zeniths. Oh, this card is awesome actually. This card won me so many games because my opponent couldn't hit that cross-ride number very well. So he ends up being a great shield for if you have it cross-ride. But it also makes it so that way it has rear guards hit for high numbers and makes my opponent think about like, oh man, how much shields do I really need? Anyway, his ability is you counterblast 1 card with Liberator in its name, and then you choose a grade 2 or less rear guard from your deck, or from your field, from your rear guard circle, and put it at the bottom of your deck. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, look at the top card of your deck, search for Gold Paladin, and call it to an open rear guard circle. That rear guard gains 10k. You have to use his, you have to call first and then drive check. Obviously, he's a really good card to me. If you have the cross ride, it's 13k base. If not, he's still a good pressure card actually. Next I have 3 Genslots. Pretty damn good card to me still. Only break ride for Gold Paladins, still really fun to play. Next I have 2 Alfreds because they have no cost, so it's a good end finisher at times, yeah. Or beginner finisher if you want, but usually you want to focus on getting these 2 out. I wouldn't want to play 4 of each because it makes it, I don't know, I don't really like playing 4 of each of 1 card. Unless if its main focus on that cross ride. This deck you don't really need to focus on a cross ride. You could just say, okay fine, I'll use up his ability, use up all my counterblast, use Alfred, hit for 26, bam. Next I run 4 12k attackers because in this deck it's very vital that you run 12ks. Next I run 3 Blaster Blade Liberators. It's kind of situational and mediocre. You can run the 10k Manillas if you want, but Blaster Blade Liberators are still a decent card. Now when set 15 comes out with the Unflipper, I'm probably going to switch this out, but there's so many damn grade 1s now that you can easily make any sort of kind of deck that fits your playstyle now. Next I run 2 Escrads because Escrads are awesome. Counterblast 1 Liberator when the attack hits, and then you check top grade of your deck. If it's a Gold Paladin, you call it. If not, put it at the bottom of your deck. Really simple. Next I run 2 Doggo Liberators. This guy's actually really fun. He's really fun to play because his ability is whenever a rear guard attack hits, you counterblast one of your rear guard units, or units basically, hit, you counterblast 1, it gains 5k. So it basically becomes a 14k column. That is very powerful for a grade 1 that's a 9, or grade 2 that's a 9k base. And it's a Liberator, so it works well with the deck. Next I run 4 Brunos because, oh come on, you got with the Liberator deck that Superior calls, you gotta run Brunos. Brunos are just too good for this deck. Every time a unit is Superior called, it gains 3k. Very simplistic. You don't need to run the AK Manila for Gold Paladins. You could just run Brunos all day. And next I run 3 10k attackers because this deck, having a 20k attacker, is scary as hell. And then you have him behind it. It's like, oh, I hit for a 30k column. Ew, GG. Next I run 3 Flying Sword Liberator Gorlois. He's pretty good actually. I like him. He's basically, you bounce 1 Liberator from your, or 1 Ganslot, any Ganslot by the way, from your drop zone to your deck, to the bottom of your deck, and you give 1 Ganslot plus 5k. So you basically don't really lose anything and prevent yourself from decking out. It's just you need Ganslot as your Vanguard, so you pretty much use him up as much as you can. And that's where sometimes Quintet Walls come in handy actually. You know, you basically play Quintet Walls and then you guard with your other shields, so that way you don't really lose any attacks. And you also get your Ganslot bounce backs. Next I run 2 Halo Marks because I don't trust myself with Quintet Walls at times, because Perfect Guards are still very good. Then finally I run the trigger lineup of 4 heals, 8 crits, because this deck hits for high numbers, you want to hit those crits, and 4 draws. Pretty simplistic. Anyway, that's pretty much the deck profile. Overall, as a Liberator deck, it's one of my favorites. The one thing I would really change with this deck is I want to search out for the grade 3 searcher actually, that if the attack hits, you counterblast 1, look at the top 5, add a grade 3. Because I think that would be a little bit better. Or basically run 2 of the guy and 3 of the S-Grads, but I only have 2 for now, so let's stick with 2. But overall, this deck is a lot of fun. It's hits for high numbers actually. Even if you call it, if you Superior call a Perfect Guard, you're still hitting for that 16k column. It's still a really good hitting column actually. Anything becomes a over 15k attacker basically. There's no 4k not 4k there's no 4k triggers in this deck. There's really no bad Superior call with Ganslot Zenith. I mean, granted, if you probably will lose that Interceptor or Marin, but you still gain that extra umph. So you basically can use Marin to attack a Interceptor or something that they care about, make them lose the 5k shield, then use Zenith's ability, counterblast 1 Liberator, put Marin back at the bottom, and let's say you call Fallon, and that's basically a 22k attacker on its own. Then you have basically Bruno Mars right there, and he gains 3k, so you're hitting for 32. I'm like, ugh. The numbers are ridiculous actually to what this deck can do, and it's very fun to play. It's a little pricey, I would say. Basically, these things are about $20 a piece, so yeah, you'll be seeing yourself spending not much. I mean, it's not as much as the Minerva deck, but that's because this card alone is expensive. And also the Perfect Guards also jumped up from $15 to $20 a piece now. I'm like, Jesus, that's still expensive. Anyway, that's the deck profile for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't worry, I will upload more videos again soon. I'll upload a Ezel deck as well as a Jewel Knight deck. And later on, I will finish this Minerva deck. But for now, this deck is going to have to do for now. It's really fun. I hope you guys watched it. Please rate, comment, and subscribe down below. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace. And SPs are sexy. I wish I had SP of him.